A look at the study questions for reading 32, James Baldwin's My Dungeon Shook. Number one, what is the crime of which Baldwin accuses his country? Do you think the accusation is true? Why or why not? Not such an easy answer. What I mean is, he says two things which seem to be equally important. That is, two aspects of the crime. The first aspect is that, as he says, hundreds of thousands of lives are destroyed. People are destroyed by racism directed against black people in America. Maybe that's the fundamental fact of the crime, is that human beings are destroyed. Destroyed. Maybe literally, physically destroyed. Maybe psychologically destroyed. Maybe practically, economically, politically destroyed in every way. Crimes committed. But what is also important to that is that no one takes responsibility for it or acknowledges even that a crime is being committed. That is the idea that the innocence constitutes the crime. It's part of the crime is that white America basically feels completely innocent of anything. And that's an essential part of the crime, I think. Number two, Baldwin says to his nephew that his country intended that you should perish. What did he mean? I think it's a little bit ambiguous. He says that you were born in a ghetto and you were meant to live and die there and to live a life that is limited, and intended that you should perish there in that ghetto without having a chance to have all sorts of experiences that a human being should have. You were intended to lead a limited life, a life of mediocrity, where you could not strive for excellence, he says. So you were intended that you should perish there, that in the sense you should live and die within that ghetto without having the full experiences of a human life. I think that that's what he meant. Could have be interpreted as meaning that it's meant to kill you, living in that ghetto, white racism. It's meant in one way or another to kill you, that you should perish. So I think both of those are actually part of it. Number three, Baldwin writes that the black man is function in the white man's world as a fixed star. What does he mean? Well, he's trying to explain just how deep white racism is. That prejudice against black people in America is a central part of the identity of white Americans. That black people in America, that their supposed inferiority to white people has been a fixed star. That is an eternal truth, you might say, for white people in America, that black people are inferior. So that it's a taken for granted truth, so that if it were uprooted, if it were dislodged, it would cause a massive shock. It'd be like, as he says, if imagine you woke up one morning and the sun was shining, but all the stars were also blazing in the sky. Well, that's like white people acknowledging black people as their equals. It would rock their world, their very sense of reality. Amazing thing to say. Finally, number four, Baldwin writes, we cannot be free until they are free. What does he mean, and is it true? It's actually quite a provocative statement, I think. That is that Baldwin is, I think, acknowledging that we're all in this together, white people and black people. And he says to his nephew, you got to love these people. You got to accept them and love them, which is not going to be easy. They are unfree. They are dominated by a false sense of reality, a false identity, a false sense of themselves. And you and I will not be free as human beings in America until they have been liberated from their delusions. That's just the way it is. And it's a pretty amazing thing to say, that the precondition for the liberation of black people in America is the liberation of white people. But I think that in a certain sense, that's exactly what he's. Is that true? Boy, I'm in no position to judge that. There's some very interesting answers, though. People study questions.